yesterday I talked about how the Rangers can win 90 games. I really believe they can now. I know Nathan Eovaldi doesn't add 20 wins to your team, but when you look at the starting rotation, that's the strength of the Texas Rangers. Without a doubt, there's nothing that even is really even that close. Their offense is a nice offense. 6, 7, 8, 9 concern me going into the year. But 1 through 5, I really like their first 5 hitters in their lineup. But when you look at DeGrom and Gray and Eovaldi and Perez and Heaney, if they start 120 games, okay, so you miss 40 to 42 games approximately, man, you can win a lot of games with that rotation. Literally, I was saying last year, nothing against certain guys, but I bring up Spencer Howard as a certain name.
Yeah.
When Spencer Howard took the mound, you felt like you were at a major disadvantage. Whoever it was.
100%. When we talked about, I think we did a topic about this, who starts that you are like, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's who Spencer Howard was for me. I was like, we're going to lose.
Right. And you were just hoping for him. You're hoping if he can give us 4+ innings with under 4 runs, maybe we have a chance. Like that was where you're at. Well, there's not one guy in this rotation that when you look at whoever they're pitching against, whether it's Framber Valdez, whether, you name a pitcher for Robbie Ray or something like that for Seattle, you're like, hey, yeah, maybe they're a little better than the guy that we have on the mound. And it won't be Jacob deGrom because if Jacob deGrom's taking the mound, he's the best.
Yeah.
But you feel like, hey, I still have it. John Gray can go out and give me 7 shutout innings. Perez can do that. Eovaldi can do that. Heaney can do that. So you feel great about that. So that's why I believe now the Rangers should play over 500 baseball and have the possibility to win 90 games. I really believe they have that ability.
Can we, before we go any further, can we stop on that just 1 second and talk about what an amazing prospect that would be? Because I have to admit, even with the DeGrom move, I was like, all right, now maybe we're talking 500. So even the prospect of making a run at the playoffs, I think is a really big deal.
Can I ask another question to consider in this conversation?
Yes.
Mike, is this maybe
what if I said no?
I'm going to ask it anyway. Is this maybe, and I know injury be damned, the best pitching staff the Rangers have ever had?
Could be. Obviously, it has a lot of potential. The last time I kind of asked this question to John Daniels, it was when you picked up Corey Kluber and you had Mike Minor and Lance Lynn, and then 1 week into the
that wasn't a positive question at all.
First of all, I asked that question before COVID, and then COVID happened, and then Kluber pitched 1 inning, and then Mike Minor,
not me though.
Mike Minor couldn't pitch in the major leagues anymore, and I know he's still in the major leagues, but he's not good anymore.
Yeah,
and Lance Lynn was good, but
so hold on. Was your response to that question the last time this happened? We got Corey Kluber and COVID broke out. Is that your answer?
Kind of. Oh my God. But I will say this. Yes, on a piece of paper, it looks really good. I will say this. After the Rangers traded for Cliff Lee, and you had Cliff Lee, C.J. Wilson was pitching at an all-star level. You had Perez and you had Colby Lewis that were pitching well. Obviously, you had Derek Holland. You had Scott Harris or Matt Harrison. I always wanted to say Scott because there's the hitter, Harrison. But you had depth. You had a superstar in Cliff Lee. You had really good pitchers in Wilson and Holland and Colby Lewis and Martin Perez. So you had like a plethora of guys. And Perez might have not been up yet, so I might be putting him on the team a little bit too quick there. But I just remember that was probably the best. Can this be better? Potentially, yes. Here's where I'm concerned. And here's why I can't pick them to win 90 games yet. Okay, so as much as I say they can, and they can make the playoffs, and I love the rotation, and the rotation has to carry them. That has to be the best. That has to be a top 5 rotation in the not American League, in baseball if they're going to win 90-plus games.
Are you about to bring up the bullpen?
I am. This is where right now I think Chris Young has to do a little bit of work, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
So John Daniels' philosophy was, Mike Adams might be listening right now. And Mike Adams, former relief pitcher on the American League back-to-back champ Texas Rangers, traded from San Diego. They did not believe. The Rangers' philosophy was, under John Daniels, we do not pay bullpen pitchers. We do not go after bullpen pitchers in the offseason unless they're really cheap. Once we establish through 2.5 or 3 months of the season that we are a good team, we are over 500, and our bullpen needs help, that's when I go get bullpen help. But I will not pay for bullpen before a season starts because I don't know how good our team is honestly going to play until I see them play 60-plus games. that could be Chris Young's philosophy. I don't know. He's a really new general manager. I think he's doing a great job. I think he's going to do a great job. I don't know if that's his philosophy with the bullpen or not. But right now, the Rangers do not have a closer. So right now, it is Jose Leclerc who struggled doing it. Jonathan Hernandez, who I think has unbelievable stuff, but didn't really show the ability to handle the ninth inning yet. He might be able to this year, but he hasn't shown the ability to handle the ninth inning yet.
Is there any part of you that thinks the Rangers look at those two and they're like, yes, we do. We just need to figure. I'm with you.
I don't think they look. I don't think they look at Leclerc and think that he's a real closer in the major leagues for a 90+ win team. I think they look at him and say, well, hell, if you're going to win 75 games, who cares?
Yeah. Not the Chris Young Texas Rangers. I'm like, this is a whole new thing for me, Kevin.
Okay.
I think the Chris Young Rangers are different.
I do think they look at Jonathan Hernandez and say he has all the ability and stuff. Like his stuff can do it. He has top 10 stuff out of the bullpen in Major League Baseball. So that gives you the ability to do it. They tried Joe Barlow last year. It didn't work.
Yep.
He's a 7th, 8th inning guy. He's good in that role, but he's not good as your closer if you're trying to win it all. A guy who I want back. I want Matt Moore back. He's still a free agent. And I'm like, hey, let's make sure we get him back, because I know that Brock Burke did a great job. John King had his moments, but I'm like, man, I think Matt Moore is a key to a winning team.
There were some rumblings that maybe he had started to be priced out of the Rangers neighborhood, which I know is weird given how much that they've spent, but that's just what I had heard. Take that for whatever you will.
So I feel like in the next month here, this month of January, I would love to see Matt Moore come back, one, and then the Rangers to possibly trade for a guy they like. If they're kind of, I know if you say you're out of money, well, you have to take on money in a trade because you're probably trading prospects to get that guy. So you're trading prospects and taking on money. But whether it's and I know he hasn't been good lately, and you might be, last gasp of a career in like Craig Kimbrell or something like that.
Okay.
But I would feel like if you added right now Matt Moore and Craig Kimbrell to this bullpen, I'd say, hey, maybe Craig Kimbrell can't do it anymore. Maybe his career is over. But, hey, we've seen where guys look like their career was maybe over as a closer, and they're able to still do it.
Here,
But that's the one thing I look at the Rangers, and I won't pick them to win 90 yet. I'm looking at this team going, I think they can win 85. I'm optimistic that they can win 85 games. But if they were to improve the bullpen, and maybe Chris Young's deal is, I'm not going to improve the bullpen until we play 80 games.
Yeah.
And then I will possibly improve the bullpen if our lineup, if our infield defense is an Achilles heel. The things that worry me right now with this team, now that they've spent the money to be a true contender, infield defense, below average. Bullpen, right now on paper, below average. The back end of your lineup, below average. And so those are the things I look at, guys, and I go, all right, if you're going to beat the Astros, if you're going to beat the Mariners, those are two really good teams that should win 90 or more games next year. How are we going to stay up with those wins? How are we going to do that and be one of the wild card teams, or somehow, I think, shock the world and win this division? Is the bullpen has to be way better than it looks like on paper. The infield defense has to get way better than last year. And the back end of your lineup, 6 through 9, has to hit better than right now it looks like on a piece of paper they would hit.
No, I think you're right about all of that. I remain encouraged that even at 85, with the expansion of the playoffs and everything like that, that at least puts you in the conversation, if not the whole time, for a long time.
I think the Rangers are going to be competitive right now all year and play over 500 baseball. And they could have a few moves or a few surprises from their bullpen, or from Jonah Heim, or from Josh Young, or from whether it's Bubba Thompson or Leody Taveras, or Ezekiel Duran or Josh Smith, or a trade that they are going to pull off in the next 3 to 4 weeks before spring training starts. That changes my mind on, no. I am now putting them as a wild card team.